Morning, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Replay viewers, please share if you would like. We're going to talk about being a smartie. No, not the candy though. I could go for a little bit of sugar. This morning, my coffee, you should see how much sugar and cream I have in my coffee. So you always probably wonder, why am I outside in the mornings now? And one of the things is, when you're in Wisconsin or anywhere in the Midwest, you enjoy the outdoors whenever you can. And our summers here are perfect. So anyways, that's why I'm always outdoors when I'm doing my live. I'm not sure if Deb's going to be joining us today. She hasn't checked in yet today. And so off we go. So last night I did a post about, what is the one thing I think that we need to do in the second half of our lives to really improve our lives. And I think learning is the key. I see my parents and they're both still learning to do new things. My dad this week is, should I go like this? My dad is snorkeling for the first time, or scuba diving for the first time this week. And he's not 80, but he's well in his 70s. My mom is always learning and I always reading the full Wall Street Journal and giving me articles. And it really made me realize how important it is for us to keep learning. So I started thinking when did we stop liking to learn? And some people had, picked it up quicker than me. I'm probably a slow learner. So when you're young and you're under five, all you're doing is learning and every day is a great day. You just learn, and there's such joy in learning. I think it's because when you're young, you're learning what you want to learn. You're not learning what you're told to learn. You're not going to school and taking a test, you have to learn for a test, or you have to learn to get into college, or you have to learn because your parents want you to do that. But when you're younger, you're learning because the joy of learning. And I know for me, I was fine at school and I did well. I went on, got my CPA, studied for that. But I never had the joy of learning. And I had a brother who loved it. He got his law degree. Well, he got his law degree, he got his master's, he got his undergrad. He'd still be going to school if he could. Not me. But I started to realize, there's all these different times in our life we're learning. We're learning in school, we're learning in college, we're learning at a career. Hi, Sue, how are you? We're learning how to be a mom. We're learning, all of our adult life, still a lot of learning is not for the joy of learning. And I think that kind of when we reach the second half of our life, we have the opportunity to start learning for the joy of it again. Learn because you enjoy learning, because you want to learn how to do a new hobby, because you wanted to learn about a new place to travel, because you wanted to learn about how to help someone. Maybe one of your friends is going through something, you want to learn about it. But we start to have the joy of learning again, I think. Well, again, I'm a slow learner, so maybe some of you guys were learning at a younger age than me. I was learning in my 30s and 40s, but it wasn't the joy of learning. I was learning, how to, raise my kids, and that's joyful, of course, but it's not how do I explain it? I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? The joy in learning of something new just because you can. I had to learn how to be a good mom, hopefully. I had to learn how to be an accountant. But now I can learn just for the joy of it because it's something I want to do. And so I was thinking when we learn, I think sometimes we think too is learn a hobby. But I think in all four aspects of our life, we need to be learning. Learning emotionally. We're going through so many different things. We become empty nesters. We have expanding families. We have friends who are going through things. So we have to learn emotionally. And I think learning emotionally maybe is just doing it, right? What we're doing. I think you have to learn intellectually, especially with technology, and the world is changing so much, we can't let that pass us up. And I think a lot of friends my age are oh, I don't understand technology. I don't do it. We have to do it, you guys. And there's real joy when you dig into that. It's kind of a have to, but there's joy because you're keeping up with your kids, your grandkids, you're learning new things. Our world is changing so much. We can't not learn intellectually and technology. Physically, I think we're learning the different things that we can and can't do with our body, but I think it's so important to try new things still. One of my goals, did you ever see those big circle things that are at a circus? I want to learn that this year. So I think you have to learn physically. Hi, Karen, how are you? Karen, we need to see each other this summer. It's been too long. And then we have to, of course, learn spiritually. I think sometimes we learn that learning spiritually, we just kind of go on coast there too. And if we're not growing our faith, it's really hard to help. I think what I see in my parents is they always are growing their faith, and it's my brothers, my nieces, my nephews, my kids all have a stronger faith too. So we have to keep learning there. So I think my thought for the day is to just keep learning and do it for the joy of it. We have an opportunity to learn new things, to have a new hobby, to try a new adventure, just for the joy of it. Anyways, everyone have a great day. Flamingo lingo of the day is keep flocking learning. Bye.